There's a significant Arctic freeze heading our way, and it should get here in about 4 days. They say that temperatures could drop to single digits, maybe a little bit of snow and high winds. With a situation like that, we could end up with a power outage and frozen pipes. So I have to prepare for this. Now, the way I prepare for this is I use a checklist I made. I call it a pre-winter storm power outage checklist. In it, I list 11 things to have on hand and 11 things to do before the storm arrives. I did a video about this, and under the description for that video, you can download that checklist. You can get to the video in the link above or under the description. And I highly recommend watching the video and getting that checklist, because I'm going to update it in this video. I'm going to update it with things you should do after the power is out. And I can't talk about everything on that list in this video, just a lot of important things, but not everything. Now at noon, on the coldest day of this storm, if the power is still on, I'm going to shut off the power to my house and shut down the water supply to my house for 24 hours. I want to mimic a power outage and frozen pipes. I have a generator, but I'm not going to use it. The reason I'm doing this is I want to show you how beneficial it is to use a checklist like this to prepare for a power outage and to help you get through the power outage. I'm trying to basically walk the talk in regards to that checklist. The Arctic freeze will be coming tonight, so I wanted to show you how we prepared for the storm, having used the checklist. First thing we did is reminded ourselves where the main water shutoff is. This is the sprinkler irrigation valve in here, and we already turned that off a while ago. Now I'm going to show you how we plan to stay warm. I placed a 20-pound propane tank outside the living room, dining room window, and another propane tank outside our bedroom window. We have an ice chest ready to go, and a wireless outdoor thermometer. This is an Olympian Wave 8 propane heater. After the power goes out, I'm going to open the window just a crack and put the hose outside the window and attach it to the propane tank. Then I'll turn the tank on, and I'll check for leaks with this gas detector. And then I'll place CO alarms near the heater and one near where we sit. There are also alarms installed on the house. Now we place the heater on a welder's blanket to help protect the floor and just remind us that it's on and hot. The Olympian Wave 8 heater is very expensive. An alternative is the more affordable Mr. Heater. Just be sure to use the Mr. Heater hose and filter if you're going to use the 20-pound tank. We'll be moving this heater around room to room. My wife measured and cut some bubble wrap to fit the windows for insulation. We prefer smaller bubble wrap. After removing it, we can just store it until the next storm. She also installed some bubble wrap in the bedroom. We have gloves, scarves, thermal underwear, beanies, plenty of warm clothes. And finally, a gas fireplace that does not work well. That's about the maximum flame I can get out of that. So I'm not looking forward to this helping us much. So we call this drawer our power outage drawer because this is where we keep everything that we use when the power goes out. So it includes battery operated lanterns, a scanner, an antenna for TV in case cable's not working, AM/FM radio, rechargeable emergency radios, rechargeable batteries. We have D-size batteries, 9 volt. We also have AAA and AA batteries in these ammo cases. And I talk about those as well as how to store batteries properly in the link above if you'd like to see that video. Now we take everything that is rechargeable and charge them up before the power outage. For example, the emergency radios, walkie-talkies, handheld ham radios, battery charger for cell phones, the cell phones, flashlight, and even this little blue and white little device, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Now, as far as water is concerned, we have 24 of these 5-gallon drinking water storage containers stored right now, and so we can afford to use one of these to wash our hands and wash dishes if we wanted to. And we also have 15 cases of water stored in the garage. We have a few in here, and some of our non-perishable food in here in this little pantry. We filled up our tub, and we're going to be using this pitcher to add to the tank so we can flush our toilet. We use this toilet for number 2 and the toilet in the other part of the house for number 1, and we flush that one less often. Now, if you don't have much drinking water, then you should fill up the tub using your water bob for drinking water, and then use jugs filled with water to put into the tank to flush your toilet. As far as taking a shower, we know what temperature we like because we tested the temperature while we were showering. We noted it down on the checklist. We both like between 100 and 102 degrees. So we heat up some water just above that temperature, so by the time we get it into the shower, it'll be just about right. If you have an electric stove, just use an outdoor barbecue or outdoor propane stove of some kind. Then we pour the water into a 5-gallon bucket. We use an iron hammer portable shower. Just put the pump into the bucket and turn it on. Once you rinse off, just turn it off while you clean yourself. And then when you're ready, you can turn it back on to rinse. If you have a portable power station, you can use an immersion water heater like this one to heat up the water instead of a stove. Just be sure to remove it before showering. See the link above on how to make what I call a warm water bucket shower. As far as the refrigerator is concerned, we froze some water in a couple jugs a few days ago. And when the power goes out, I'll place it in the refrigerator to keep it cool longer. I monitor the temperature with this wireless thermometer. If the temperature gets to about 40 degrees, I'll just put the sensor, the food, and ice in an ice chest in the backyard. As far as food goes, we have plenty of disposable tableware and plenty of non-perishable food. We have a couple games to keep us busy as well. Also, I suggest you educate yourself and make a decision about a couple of things here. This is the first page of the checklist, and notice item 1 and 2. Number 1, whether the power is out or not, educate yourself on how to protect your water heater or tankless water heater in freezing conditions. Number 2, whether the power is out or not, decide if you're going to drip your faucets or turn the water off to your home and drain the pipes in freezing conditions. All right, so I'll see you in the morning. Well, the Arctic freeze came in overnight. It's about almost 5:30 a.m. and 10.8 degrees Fahrenheit. I doubt we're getting into the single digits, but it's pretty darn cold. And we've been dripping our faucets all night. Okay, so it's a little after 9 a.m. My wireless thermometer says it's 11.3 degrees Fahrenheit outside and 75 degrees Fahrenheit inside. I activated our emergency weather alert function on our Midland emergency radio. You can see it blinking right there. We'll be listening to this radio off and on throughout the day. This is my all hazards alert radio. And the thing I really like about this radio is it has SAME technology. This allows me to program it so that it will only alert me to counties that I input. This way I stay informed for my specific county as well as informed for the county my family lives in. And I can program it to alert me for specific weather events that I want to be alerted to, such as tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, fire, freeze, and other events, and then not be alerted to events that I'm not interested in. Okay, so it's about 12 o'clock noon, and it's 12 degrees Fahrenheit outside and 73 degrees inside. The power's still on, but my wife's just about to shut off the main power to the house. It'll remain out for 24 hours, creating, in effect, our own power outage. We just shut off the main water valve a few minutes ago, mimicking frozen pipes, so there's no more running water. Well, there it goes. Power's out for the next 24 hours. Time to place the ice jugs in the fridge. The following are the first things you need to do once the power goes out. I added this to the checklist. 1. Unplug appliances and electronic devices because when the power comes back on, the surge could damage them, even if the power was just out for a few minutes. 2. Call the power company and report your outage or use their app. Try to find out the following things. 1. How widespread is the outage? 2. What caused the outage? And then 3. When could you expect to have the power restored? Stay on top of this throughout the power outage. 3. Open the kitchen and bathroom cabinets under the sink to allow warm air to circulate. 4. If you know any neighbors who are older or anyone who may need some help, you should let them know that you're available for them. I attached my Olympian Wave 8 propane heater to the tank. I just put the hose outside of the window and I'm using that little opening as ventilation. I checked for leaks at the tank and at the heater with my combustible gas detector. I placed our CO alarms near it and near where we sit. We're using this heater because it can run nearly 60 hours on 20-pound tank, and it can heat up more square footage than a Mr. Heater. It also uses a non-open flame technology, so there's no smell. There are advantages though to the Mr. Heater as well. See my review on it. I think the end result will be very similar anyway. If you're wondering why I'm not running both heaters out here, it's because most people don't have two heaters, and I wanted them to see what it's like to just run one heater. I also decided not to run my fireplace because some people don't have one, and I want to see how well this heater works alone. If you can't afford a propane heater, try using a tent in the warmest part of your house. Your body heat's like a little heater. This tent cost me $22. I'll check back with you a little later. We're a little concerned about the temperature. Well, actually a lot concerned. It's at 48 degrees. It didn't take really too long to get to 48 degrees, or 49 now. So we're going to transfer all the food out to the ice chest. All right, so we have our food in here. Okay, that's looking much better. So I wanted to give you an update. It's a little after 3 o'clock. This heater is doing great. I mean, it really is doing great. I'm very impressed. It's 12 degrees out and 72 degrees in the house. Let's see what else we have here. And the ice chest is nice and cool at 23 degrees. And this says it's 72 degrees in the house. The radio information, there's been no alerts, and there's been one power outage when we look on our apps. The forecast is for snow flurries tonight and lows in the 11s. Now our room is the coldest room in the house. It faces north. It got down to 65 degrees in here with the door shut and no heat. The rest of the house, 72, 73 degrees with that Olympian Wave 8. It did a great job. So I just wanted to see how well Mr. Heater would work in here. We were going to put the Olympian Wave in before we go to bed and heat it up, but I thought I'd give Mr. Heater a shot. And I'm super impressed with this. It got to 73 degrees in a short period of time. Works really well. So I wanted to let you know about that. And so I'll check in a little later. Now there's nothing in the toilet, but I just want to demonstrate how we filled the tank up to flush. Okay. And this is a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat you can get. And we've never used it, but we have it on hand just in case. But everything seems to be working just fine. This will be the last segment for today. I wanted to show you what it looks like at nighttime. Also, the temperature outside, 11 degrees. Inside, 74. That's amazing. I think that's the warmest it's been today, and never below 72. This heater is amazing. Look at the temperature it's putting out. What, 812, 814? Yeah, it's warm. You can probably see it glowing. I think between this and the insulation that we did really helped. Anyway, we're going to be using the Mr. Heater instead of this Olympian Wave 8 heater as originally planned to just heat the bedroom up before we go to bed, wear our thermal underwear, turn it off, and then in the morning I'll turn the Mr. Heater back on again, 3 or 4 or so. So until tomorrow. Okay, so it's about 5:30 a.m. Chill factor outside is -5, and it's 7 degrees Fahrenheit and 68 degrees in the house. I turned the Olympian Wave on about 1 a.m. and it's done a great job just getting it to 68 because it started with a lot lower. You can see it glowing. We're getting ready to take our morning showers, and I'm just getting the bathroom toasty. And I already showed you the Iron Hammer portable shower. We're just cooking up some bacon for breakfast, and we're going to have dry cereal. We had to let this bacon thaw out. It's so cold from the ice chest. And of course, if you don't have a gas stove, then you should maybe use your outdoor propane stove or outdoor barbecue. We're using our camping percolator to make our coffee, and for us, it works best with a filter. We already filled it with water and put coffee in the basket. Once it starts percolating, we keep an eye on the coffee color in the plastic knob until we get the desired color. It's been percolating for a while now, and it's reached the color we like in the knob. If you're older, I bet I know what commercial jingle you're thinking of. Okay, it's almost noon, and this is what we've been doing all morning. Yes, I want to be the dog.
No.
Okay, so it's noon. It's time to restore our power. Yesterday, my wife shut off the main circuit breaker, creating our own power outage. Then we unplugged major appliances and electronics. So to turn the power back on, she shut off all of the breakers, and then turned on the main circuit breaker, and is now currently turning the breakers back on one at a time. I'm going to be talking about 2 mistakes we made, 2 things we learned, and a little bit about propane heaters. The first mistake had to do with the ice for the refrigerator. We had several half-gallon containers in the garage. I thought she filled them up, put them in the freezer. She thought I filled them up and put them in the freezer. We spaced it out. I think that's because we've been using a generator to keep our refrigerator cool in power outages for the last 20 years. Now, we did have 2 done, but that was from testing to see how long it takes for the water to freeze in a container that size. We did it like a week earlier. The other, and luckily we followed the protocol and put the ice chest in the backyard. The other thing is the tankless water heater video. Because there's no power to it and no water to it, I had to drain it. And I wanted to record that for the video. So my wife took the camera and took a picture of her foot in the garage floor instead of recording the video. All I had to do was shut the gas off, power off, and drain it, but I couldn't include that in the video. We learned the importance of insulating the windows, and that small bubble wrap works perfectly fine. We used this in the February 2021 power outage in our other home. And the area was much smaller than this house, the living room kitchen area. And we knew it was important, and it played an important role in keeping the house comfortable in that power outage. But we didn't know how important it was until this situation, because we used the Olympian Wave 8 heater to heat up this area. This area is 500 square feet. It's rated at 290 square feet. And it maintains 72 to 74 degrees. And I think the only way that can be done is because of the insulation. It's my opinion. But so that's reflected in the checklist now. I mentioned in there the importance of that. The second thing we mainly I confirmed, that when you're ventilating the cold air, people have asked, will the cold air affect the heating of the room because it's open and cold air is coming in when you're trying to heat it up. And I saw no negative effect whatsoever. So I felt cold air when I put my hand right at the window, but it wasn't a problem at all. And now, speaking of the heating a room up, we never slept with the heater on. And we vented the area, the square inches that the manufacturers recommend. Plus, we had the doggy door open, we had another window open, we opened a door sometimes, because we had the place sealed up even with the blue painter's tape. So we ventilated a lot more. We had seal alarms everywhere, and these will burn you. These heaters will burn. So, and I know because I tried to pick up that Mr. Heater after it was off. It burned the hair on the back of my hand. I smelled something. So don't make sure these are cool before you try to move them, because we moved that little heater around, Mr. Heater, and no, we had to let it cool. And we use the welder's blanket not only to protect the floor, but to remind us to stay away from it. So if you have kids or animals, stay away from these things. They will definitely, it can really burn. That's why we had the little lanterns out there as well. Now, the Mr. Heater has a smell. it's basically just burning propane. I mean, it's an open flame. It's going to have some smell. Most people smell something, but it doesn't bother them. Some people smell nothing. For me, it bothers me a little bit, and my wife a little bit. So we use it only to heat up rooms like the bathroom, before we go to bed, in our bedroom, things like that. But you can use this in place of the Olympian Wave 8 heater easily if you can handle the smell with this. But like I said, some people have no problem with that. And I recommend both heaters. I think they're great. So just be sure you follow manufacturer's recommendations and safety instructions. I wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate that. If you found it helpful, please share it, like it, and don't forget to subscribe. So y'all have a great day. Again, thanks for watching.